I was 11 days away from being charged $80 for a fitness app I have opened exactly twice in my life. Not $80 I'd already spent. $80 that was sitting there, scheduled, about to come out of my account on a Tuesday morning, while I was making school lunches and had absolutely no idea it was coming. And that was one of seven subscriptions I was still paying for. Some monthly, quietly, in amounts small enough that I never questioned them. 2 of them annual, both about to renew within the month. One of them I had been paying for since before my son could walk, and I could not have told you the name of it if you'd offered me money. Added up across a year, it came to just over $1,000. And here's the part that still gets me. I didn't find this because I got organized. I found it because I finally admitted I was never going to sit down and read 4 years of emails looking for the words, "Your subscription is confirmed." That was never going to happen. I have 2 kids. I don't have an evening to give to that. So I got help. I asked an AI to go through my statements and my inbox with me, line by line, and tell me what it found. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what turned up, exactly what I typed to get it, and how to do this yourself tonight in about 20 minutes. And I'll say this now so it's not hanging over the whole video. Nobody is paying me to make this. There's no sponsor, no affiliate link, no code in the description. I'm telling you about a tool because it genuinely solved a problem I'd been avoiding for 2 years, and I'd feel strange not mentioning the thing that actually did the work. Let's get into it. Hey, it's Alora, and welcome back to the Finance Mom HQ. If you're new here, this channel is where I talk honestly about the money side of being a mom, the messy parts, the parts nobody warns you about. No lectures, no shame, just one mom telling another mom the truth about what's actually happening in her own bank account. And I want to start today by saying something clearly, because I know how this kind of video can land. This is not a video about being bad with money. I know that's what your brain wants to do with it. You're going to hear $1,000 in forgotten subscriptions, and some voice in the back of your head is going to say, well, that's what happens when you're careless. I want to head that off right now, because I've sat with this for weeks, and I don't think that's what happened to me at all. Here's what actually happened. I am a person who tries things. When the kids were small and I was drowning, I downloaded a meal planning app because it promised to save me an hour a week, and an hour a week sounded like a miracle. When I decided I was finally going to get my body back after the baby, I signed up for a fitness app in January, like every other woman in America. When my son needed something educational to do on a rainy Saturday that wasn't just cartoons, I found a learning app with good reviews, and I signed him up. Every single one of those was a good decision at the time. I want to be really clear about that. I wasn't being frivolous. I was a tired mother reaching for tools that might make the week easier. But every single one of them asked for my card up front, even the free ones, especially the free ones. And that's the whole thing right there. The free trial is not a free trial. The free trial is a paid subscription with a delay on it, and the delay is calculated to be just long enough that you forget you started the clock. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just the business model. Small charges, spaced out, easy to overlook, on a card you gave them months ago. The entire subscription economy is designed around the fact that you are busy and you will not be watching. So no, this isn't a video about being bad with money. This is a video about a system that works exactly as intended, and what it took for me to finally see it. Let me tell you how deep it actually went, because I think this is the part that's going to feel familiar. I had my card saved in places I couldn't have listed for you. Not because I was reckless with it, but because saving your card is the default now. You sign up for something at 11 at night with a baby on your shoulder, and the box that says, "Save this card for faster checkout," is already ticked. You don't untick it. Nobody unticks it. Over about 4 years, I signed up for I genuinely don't know how many things. Free trials I meant to cancel, apps I tried for a week, services I upgraded during one specific stressful moment and never looked at again. And here's the mechanism that made it invisible. I never once saw a bill for $1,000. If I'd gotten a bill for $1,000, I would have noticed immediately. Instead, I saw $9.99, I saw $12.99, I saw $6.99 on a Thursday, buried between a grocery run and a tank of gas. You look at a $9 charge and your brain files it under fine. It doesn't feel like money. It feels like a coffee. It's not until you multiply it by 12 and then add it to 6 other things you also filed under fine that it turns into something real. And there's a second thing that kept it hidden, and this one's sneakier. I genuinely could not tell which ones I had canceled. Because here's what happens. You stop using an app, you delete it off your phone, and in your head, that's the end of it. You've moved on. But deleting the app doesn't cancel anything. The charge keeps going. And 6 months later, you have this vague sense that you dealt with that one, and you did not deal with that one. And there is no way to tell the difference without going and looking. That's not carelessness. That's just what happens when a system gives you no feedback. So a few weeks ago, the kids were finally down, the house was quiet, and instead of just glancing at my balance the way I normally do, I opened up my full transaction history. And I scrolled. I want to describe the feeling honestly because I don't think we talk about it enough. It wasn't panic. It was this slow, sinking recognition. Charge after charge that I sort of half recognized. Merchant names that meant nothing to me. Little abbreviations that could have been anything. There was one that I stared at for probably a full minute, trying to place. I could not do it. I had no memory of it whatsoever. And it had been charging me for a long time. I sat there for 10 minutes, and I got more overwhelmed, not less. Because what became obvious very quickly was that reading a statement isn't actually the hard part. The hard part is that a statement only tells you what left. It doesn't tell you when it started, or what it was for, or whether you already tried to cancel it. To answer those questions, I'd have had to go into my email and find the original confirmation for every single one. 4 years of email, thousands of messages. Looking for a welcome message from a company whose name I couldn't remember. And I sat there on that couch, and I made the honest calculation that every mother makes about 100 times a day, which is, when exactly am I going to do that? Not that week. Not the week after. Realistically, never. That's the truth. I'd been not doing it for 2 years already, and I was about to not do it for another 2. That's the moment I decided to get help with it. So let me just show you what came back, and then I'll walk you through exactly how I got it, because I think seeing the list first is the part that's going to make you want to go check your own. Number 1, the fitness app. And this is the one I opened with, because this is the one that genuinely rattled me. The confirmation email showed I signed up for a 7-day free trial 22 months ago. 22 months. I used it twice. It converted to an annual plan, charged me once, and was 11 days away from charging me a second time. $80 a year for an app I have opened twice, ever. Number 2, a learning app I signed my son up for. And I want to be careful here because I don't regret this one the way I regret the others. He loved it. For about a month, he genuinely loved it. And then he was 4, and he moved on to something else, the way 4-year-olds do. But it kept billing me $12.99 every month, long after the app stopped getting opened. That's $155 a year for something sitting on a tablet in a drawer. Number 3, and this one made me laugh out loud in a dark living room at 11 at night. A streaming service I was paying for twice, once on its own, and once bundled inside a different service I signed up for later without registering that it included the first one. 2 separate charges every month for the exact same thing. $16 a month, so nearly $192 a year for the privilege of paying twice for one service. Number 4, a subscription box. I signed up for this after a genuinely terrible week as a small, kind thing for myself, and I meant it at the time. But I stopped wanting it about 2 months in, and I never canceled, and it kept arriving and kept charging. $25 a month, $300 a year. This was the single biggest one on the list, and it was the one I'd have guessed least. Number 5, a cloud storage upgrade. You know the moment. Your phone says you're out of space, you're trying to take a photo of your kid doing something you'll never see again, and you will pay literally anything to make the message go away. I bumped up to a bigger plan in about 4 seconds and never once thought about it again. $12 a month, forever. $144 a year. Number 6, the meal planning app. The one that was going to save me an hour a week. I used it for exactly 1 grocery trip. It was on an annual plan, and it was 3 weeks from renewing. And number 7, a photo backup app that was doing essentially the same job as the cloud storage upgrade in number 5. Completely redundant. 2 services, backing up the same photos, both charging me. $7 a month, $84 a year, for a job that was already being done. $1,015 a year. And I want to sit on that number for a second, because when I first saw it, I had a very specific reaction. And it wasn't about the money. It was, how did I not know? But that's the wrong question, and it took me a while to get there. The right question is, how would I have known? Nobody sends you an annual summary. Nobody emails you saying, you haven't opened this in 14 months. Do you still want it? There is no system anywhere designed to tell you this. The only way to find out is to go looking. And going looking is genuinely hard. 2 of those 7 were about to renew inside a month, which means if I'd waited even 4 more weeks to do this video would have been about $1,400 instead. Okay, so here's exactly how I got that list, in 2 parts. And you can do the first part with nothing but your bank app. Part 1 was the statements. I pulled up my bank and credit card statements, and I typed out the charges I couldn't immediately account for. Merchant name, amount, and roughly how often it showed up. That's it. Then I asked Claude to sort them for me. Which of these look like recurring subscriptions based on the repeat pattern? And which are probably one-off purchases? That alone was useful, because a subscription has a fingerprint. Same amount, same rough date, month after month. When you see all your charges grouped that way instead of scattered through a statement, the pattern jumps out immediately. But part 2 is where it actually cracked open. And before I show you that, I want to be straight with you about something, because it involves your email, and I'd want someone to be straight with me. For part 2, I connected my Gmail so Claude could search it. That's a connection you have to set up and approve yourself. It doesn't happen automatically, and it isn't the AI sitting there reading your inbox in the background. It only looks when you ask it to, at what you've allowed. 2 things I'd want you to know before you do that. First, look at what you're approving when the permission screen comes up. Read it properly, the way you'd read anything else you're giving access to your email. Second, and I mean this step is completely optional. Everything I found, I could have found the slow way, from statements alone. Connecting my email made it faster and gave me exact dates. It did not make it possible. If you're not comfortable connecting an email account to anything, and that is a completely reasonable place to land, skip it. You'll still get most of the value from this video. I'd rather you make that call with the full picture than because a video told you to. Okay, so with Gmail connected, what I asked for was this. Go through my inbox and find anything that looks like a subscription confirmation, a free trial sign-up, or a billing receipt. And for each one, tell me what the service is and when I signed up. And here's why that mattered so much. Your inbox remembers what you don't. Every single one of these companies sends you an email when you sign up. Welcome to your free trial. Your subscription is confirmed. Your payment method has been charged. Those emails never go anywhere. They're sitting in your inbox right now, in a part of it you have not scrolled to in years. So instead of guessing, I got actual dates, not, you have a fitness app subscription. It was, you started a 7-day free trial on this specific date, and it converted to an annual plan 2 weeks later. That's what turned it from a vague worry into a thing I could act on. Because a vague worry you can put off, a date you can't. And then the last piece, which honestly saved me the most time, I asked it to help me work out how to actually cancel each one. Because that's the other half of this problem that nobody talks about. These companies bury the cancel button 5 menus deep, and some of them make you call. It pointed me to the specific cancellation pages and the unsubscribe links sitting inside those same confirmation emails. So I wasn't hunting blind through a settings menu designed to make me give up. I want to be precise about this. It didn't cancel anything for me. I clicked every one of those cancel buttons myself. What it did was hand me the list, the dates, and the door. Now, I could have made this whole video about my own mess, but the reason I actually sat down to record it is what happened next. I've sat down with 2 other moms over their money since I did this. 2. And I asked both of them, almost as an afterthought, when's the last time you read your full statement line by line? Both of them found forgotten subscriptions. Both of them. One found 4. The other found 3, including, and I promise I am not making this up, a second streaming service she was also paying for twice. 3 for 3, me and both of them. That's when it stopped feeling like a story about me being disorganized and started feeling like something worth talking about out loud. Because if it's 3 out of 3, it isn't a personal failing. It's just what this system does to busy people. And the only reason any of us found it is that somebody finally went looking. So here's what changed on my end, and it's less dramatic than you'd think. I canceled 6 of the 7. I kept the cloud storage because I actually do need it. I just dropped it to the smaller plan and canceled the redundant photo app that was doing the same job. That one change alone is about $230 a year back. And then I made it a habit, because the whole point is that this isn't a one-time cleanup. New trials creep in, kids find new apps, prices go up quietly, and nobody sends you a note about that either. So once a month, on the same day I do everything else money related, I read my full statement properly, not glance at the balance, read it. And every few months, I do the inbox search again, because that's where the new ones show up first. It takes 20 minutes. The first time takes longer because you're clearing years of buildup. After that, it's 20 minutes. Here's what I want you to actually take from this. This was never one big financial mistake. There was no moment where I did something stupid. It was 100 small, reasonable decisions made by a tired woman at 11 at night that quietly stacked up into $1,000 a year while I was busy managing everyone else's life. And I want to be honest about the AI part too, because I don't want to oversell it. It didn't fix my money. It didn't know anything I couldn't have found out myself with a free weekend I was never going to have. What it did was take information that already existed, in my own statements, in my own inbox, and organize it into something I could actually look at. It closed the gap between, I should really deal with that, and it's dealt with. That gap is where $1,000 was living. You don't need an AI to start. You need 20 minutes and a willingness to actually look at the statement instead of the balance. That's genuinely most of it. And this is what I mean when I say we're out here raising kids and retirement funds at the same time, with the same two hands. Nobody's coming to check the small stuff for us. We have to do it ourselves, in the 20 minutes we can find between everything else. So here's my challenge. This week, pull up your full transaction history, not your balance, your actual transaction list, and read it, all of it. And then go into your email and search the word subscription, and then search free trial, and see what surfaces. Then come back and tell me in the comments how many you found. I want to know if it's 3 out of 3 for everybody, because I have a strong feeling it is. And one more time, because it matters to me, nobody paid for this video. No sponsor, no affiliate link, nothing in the description. I told you about the tool because it's the thing that actually got me over the line after 2 years of avoiding it, and it would have been dishonest to tell you this story and leave that part out. Next week, I'm walking you through my full monthly money check-in, start to finish, the whole 20 minutes, exactly what I look at and in what order. Subscribe so that one finds you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Go read your statement and be gentle with yourself about whatever you find, because I promise you're not the only one. I'll see you in the next one.